Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk about my experience at the Rosemont, Illinois location for Bushy Road Springfest 2022. I went with my teammates Ryan and Kai. This is our photo from when we got third place in standard, and then for V we didn't make top 8, but we did make top 16, and overall I would do at least want to say that my personal record over the weekend was really strong, and I'll be sharing both of those decks for both standard on day 1 and V in future videos. I just don't want to go into the nitty-gritty today. Overall, the venue was really nice. This was my first in-person regional for Vanguard. I was very surprised by how well judges handled things for the most part. My only gripe is that there was a weird repairing that they didn't officially announce, and the players kind of caught it before the judges, I guess, announced it or whatever happened. It was really awkward. There was a lot of seat switching in round 6, which was the last round of Swiss that day, and so there was that. Yeah, that was probably like my only negative, my personal negative. There's also a ton of vendors, and I bought a ton of products, so like stuff for Bermuda, stuff for OT, T. I have to finish that phrase. I cannot just say OT or people think I'm talking about the over trigger. So that was also pretty cool, as I found a lot of cards that I otherwise would have not found. And again, like I said, I think I did pretty well this week. Team got 3rd place in standard, and then we got 16th place out of 50 teams. And V, it was roughly the same amount of teams for both V and standard, so around that 50 range. And I'd say that's pretty good for a Easter Sunday weekend. So for day 1 for standard, I was in seat A with Magnolia. In seat B was our Barrel Magnus player. His name is Kai, and he's a collector, does a lot of selling too, and so it's really nice. I got to see a lot of his collection over the weekend, and I like the way he plays Barrel, so that's how that goes. And then of course in seat C we had our teammate Ryan. He usually plays Wii Cross and Weiss, but he decided to put his Vanguard hiatus on hold for a bit, and come back to play with friends and enjoy a nice weekend in Rosemont. And he also did very well for someone who had just came back to Vanguard after a pretty long hiatus. I want to say around like 1.5 to 2 years. And yeah, that's his parallel list if I haven't already pointed and put it up on the screen. And I kind of worked with him, and Kai also worked with him to kind of put that together last minute. Overall, our team record was 7-2 throughout the day. The only team we lost to was the team that won it all. I'm blanking on the name of the team right now, but here's that graphic here. So yeah, that the first place team is the only team we lost to. We lost to them in round 2 of the event. It was a clean sweep. They were really strong just out of the gate, and then we ended up fighting them for the spot for grand finals. So basically the top 4 match, where I got my revenge W against their Barrel Magnus player in seat A. Ryan and Kai fell a little short, but they played amazing, and Overdress is just kind of that format where triggers happen, luck happens. So again, shout out to all the top 4 teams, especially the team that won. They were super nice, and we even talked to them a little bit on day 2 as well during V. Just like really great guys. I know that they frequent the Illinois majors and travel for those often, so hopefully I get to play you guys again. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So kind of how my PR went, because there was a lot of stuff that happened. This was my first regional, so I was really uncomfortable. I really wanted to actually get more like B-roll and stuff with my camera. There was a lot of stuff I wanted to do that I frankly I just didn't do, partially because I was just like really nervous the whole time and like kind of shy. So to all the content creators and people that I met there, I was just really shy and kind of like timid a little bit, but as the weekend got on, I got more comfortable. For round 1, I fought a Gravidia player, and the only reason I won the matchup is because he missed timing on his Gravidia skill on place on his grade 3 turn to get the Meteor, and then he also threw away a Meteor on turn 1 when he could have played it in the order zone. So we take those misplays, it happened. Round 2 was my one of 2 losses, or was my only loss that day. But yes, one of 2 losses the whole entire weekend to that Barrel Magnus player from the first place team. And then round 3 and round 4, I played a Hexa Orb in round 3. Round 4 was Flagberg, and I hit OT both games and just kind of steamrolled double Inlet Pulse, double Impex, the good stuff. Round 5, fought a Barrel player. And then yeah, round 6 was the team kill, They did make top 8 though, due to deck check things, but shout out to that team as they also helped us test a ton too. And then we made it to top 8 where I fought my only mag mirror that day. So the only Magnolia I ever fought that day was my first top 8 match. And I missed the grade 4, but I somehow managed to take the dub. I didn't see my grade 4 to turn 6, but endless pulse looping means you get to draw a ton of cards. We take those. Again, that top 4, the team lost, but I did get my revenge against the barrel player, so now we are 1-1, I guess. And yeah, our third place match, I fought a Gravidia player. He had some really cool techs to deal with a lot of the aggro styles. And Overdress, I think he was playing Wells or something. I think it was the grade 1 that gains power, and he said that it was really helping him in his matchups. Really nice guy as well. But I was also sacking like crazy in that match too. So yeah, that was standard. We do have the certificate. And then of course the medal. And then we have the prize card. So here it's textured, it's beautiful. Oh, there we go. Yes, Basado is nice. But yeah, so we got that. In general, just again, shout out to all the teams on day 1 from Standard. You guys were all super nice and super friendly, and it really helped me get comfortable with the venue as we kind of transitioned into day 2 for V. So now, my team is in really high spirits. We're going into day 2, coming off of a top 3 finish. Another team for our locals placed top 2. So shout out to team The McRib is back, as you guys were really pivotal in helping me test for V and helping us test in general and giving us deck ideas. You guys are awesome. And yeah, I just wanted to do that shout out. My team record day 2 was 3-2. So we bubbled out at 16th place. We were kind of in that awkward area. Again, 50 teams, so I'm pretty happy with that. This is my first in-person regionals. My PR though, personal record was 4-1. I piloted Anj. This is the we'll talk about the Anj list later, very soon actually. So yeah, I did play Anj. It worked really well, and then Ryan brought Gray and Blue, and here's his list. And then Kai brought Messiah. Here's his list. So the seats went, Ryan was seat A with Gray and Blue. I was seat B with Anj, and then Kai was seat C with Messiahs. In general, maybe preparing for a couple of unique matchups might have helped us, because there's a lot going on in V right now, and I think it goes to show with the Rosemont kind of representation is there were a lot of decks in top 8. And even still with the whole Mega Colony, Order Colony thing, I think it goes to show that there's a lot of decks that people just aren't really trying to see if they work, and then we get these weird moments where there's like, oh, this deck's actually kind of good. But I think that's kind of nice because it shows that we haven't explored everything that our formats have to offer. I know I talked with Outer Orange a little bit at the venue, and she had a very interesting Prism build, which I know she'll probably tell you guys about on her channel, and she talked about it on her Twitter as well. And I played it before the event, and it kind of put me in the right mindset for a later round 3 match. But overall, I fought Witches in round 1. They sacked me, and I could not grade 2 game with Anj that round, so I lost. Then we had Magatsu Storm in round 2. That went to almost went to time, but we clutched it. We both had like 5 cards in deck, and besides the Barrel player on day 1, the Barrel player and the Magatsu Storm player for day 2, those were probably my hardest games all weekend. So a shout out for you guys for making me sweat, have to work for the dubs. At this point, we're into round 2. My team is 2-0, despite I wasn't able to take that round 1 win against OTT Witches. It's also, you guys know I love OTT, so it's really exciting to see OTT aficionado or the appreciator, whatever you want to call them, at the event. It was also really nice and had some really high rarity protect markers, so that was pretty cool. Round 3, we fought a team from one of the local shops, and we lost that 1-2. I did beat their Prism player though, as Anj, just really good at gaining card advantage. I love going second with the deck, and I can just bully Prism, and it's just a great time. So there's that. And then of course round 4 we played against a team comp of Grand Blue, Luard in seat B, and then in seat C they had a Vanquisher, which was really smart as they were trying to target things like the Messiahs and things, the High Rollers, because Vank is a very consistent deck. That was the one deck I was trying to avoid while playing Anj, because you just don't, you lose a lot of pressure because they just start binding your Linkas and you don't get to play the game sometimes. But outside of the Vanquisher, I really wasn't worried about any other deck. I was prepared for the Amons if they showed up, and any of the other weirder decks that you don't usually see very often. I did win against a Luard player though. That was a very, it was one of the longer matches, but I would say it felt like overall, just like a lot of back and forth triggers, the normal Vanguard thing. And then around 5, we played a team that we met on day 1 who we didn't get a chance to play because of repairing things. It happens. They were also super nice, and I believe they had traveled from out of state, and so that was super nice. And I fought their Gradora player in V, but you know, Anj, Aqua, as long as I have a single CB, the cradle markers don't really matter, and you have a lot of shield value in Bermuda right now for V, and yeah, just V in general have a lot of shield value. So that happened. So at the end of the day, my team went 3-2, I went 4-1, and for V, 8-1 for standard, and I only dropped 2 games throughout the weekend. So for a first regional, I'd say that's, we take those. Again, shout out to all the people I met. I know I met Yellow, I got to see Wolf the Legend again, Outer Orange, ran into Commander Jaime indirectly at the event, and then a bunch of other just really cool individuals. So again, what an amazing event. I loved it. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe if you at least enjoyed one part of the video today. I'm done shilling, and now we're chilling. Peace out.